My name's Katie Jervis and I'm a key worker with Devon and Cornwall Police's Pathfinder scheme, and we've been using eSIN since the Pathfinder scheme launched in May 2016. Traditionally, low-level offenders would be dealt with by the police by means of a caution or a conditional caution. The new Pathfinder scheme aims to work with people to understand the factors that have contributed to their offending and to encourage them to access support to reduce the chances of them offending further in the future. When we start working with somebody on the Pathfinder scheme, we would sit down with them and have a conversation about the reasons that have led to their coming to the attention of the police, and perhaps some of the underlying issues that they've experienced, which could be substance misuse, it could be mental health, it could just be a relationship breakdown that they've not been able to process. And from there, we would have a discussion around the sort of support that they require. They may already have some idea of the help that they need, or we may need to make some suggestions about support that would be beneficial for them. Working with somebody on Pathfinder requires that we collect information from them on the issues that they've experienced that have contributed to their offending, and also on the sort of support that they would like to access that they feel that would be beneficial to them. So one of the key challenges of doing that is being able to store that information somewhere securely, but also being able to have that information in a place which is accessible to the partners that we work with. Devon and Cornwall Police chose the eSIN system to use alongside the Pathfinder programme. So each step that we take within the 4-month scheme of Pathfinder, we use a different element of eSINs to support us to do that. So that would start with a needs assessment at the beginning, and there is a feature within eSINs that we can use to gather all that information, which then leads on to being able to make suitable referrals based on that person's needs. Another feature that we use within the eSINs programme is the ability to communicate via secure messages within the programme, which we use a lot of once we've set somebody up and linked them in with an organisation. We may need to share information about their progress or about their lack of engagement, which it's useful to be able to do within the programme, so that information is linked directly to the profile and we know that we're sharing that information via a secure network. The reporting features within eSINs are really useful to record the interaction type that you're having with a particular person, and then being able to go back and extract that information retrospectively, so that you can see, for example, how often somebody has interacted with a particular service or how much voluntary work they've completed, which are both requirements of engaging with Pathfinder. When we start working with somebody on the Pathfinder scheme, we complete a full needs assessment, which then informs an action plan, which might include things such as getting help for a drug addiction, or tackling homelessness, or working on an important relationship. So when we put an action plan together, we do that sat by them side by side. So the way that the eSIN programme works is that immediately after you've completed the needs assessment, it directly links into an action plan. So the person is able to visualise on the screen the areas that they've identified as needing some support with, and it really helps them to be able to then put that into bullet point form on specific actions that they would like to complete. Part of the needs assessment that we complete includes a Pathfinder wheel, which includes the 10 critical pathways that people usually need support with. So that could be physical or mental health, homelessness, or a drug problem, for example. And the way that it works is that the person would allocate a score for each area, which then highlights where they need most support. Being able to access the wheel assessment through eSINs is really useful, as it gives a visual to the person completing it, so they're able to see the areas that they're doing better in and the areas that they've identified as needing some support. eSINs also has the option of adding more detailed comments underneath, which is useful to then reflect on at the midway and endpoint reviews, so that that person can reflect on where they were and how far they've come during their time on the scheme. When managing quite a large caseload, it's really useful that eSINs offers the option of setting tasks and reminders to complete certain actions at certain points. So this is particularly useful for the mid and end point reviews, which need to be carried out at particular points during the scheme. I found eSINs to be a really flexible program to use in that it has different options for collecting the same information, so you can tailor your use of the program to the particular person that you're working with. My personal experience of using eSINs is that it's taken a complex process and it's actually made it a much more simple one. For me and the other key workers, this means that we're able to spend more time out of the office working directly with people, and hopefully that means that they would be less likely to go on and reoffend in the future. So I would definitely recommend this programme. The police use a number of systems to record crime and information on offenders, but those systems weren't really suitable for use with the Pathfinder scheme, as we needed partner agencies to be able to access the systems in order to provide us with updates and to familiarise themselves with the work that we'd already done. The fact that partner agencies can log in and update our systems is hugely time saving, and it means that I don't have to spend time making phone calls and sending emails. One of the ways that we measure the success of the Pathfinder scheme is based on rates of reoffending. The eSIN system makes making that evaluation much easier, as it allows us to run a selection of reports which brings back data on the number of cases that we've had, the rates of completion, and more detailed information on the activities that went into those cases. eSINs allows us to make time and cost savings by recording information just in one place, which is then accessible by colleagues and by the partner agencies. It avoids having to update team members, and it avoids having to send duplicate emails to partner agencies that we're working with.